Hello everyone, and welcome to our backyard. Today's video is over the different salvia that I have in my yard. And exactly 11 weeks ago, I did a video on these salvia and stated that it was really my go-to plant. And it is. But this is 11 weeks later, and in the hot and humid Houston greater metro area, we have had full-blown summer, and it's been pretty brutal. We've had 100-degree days with high humidity, which has made the heat index really high. And so I wanted to do this video to give you an update on how wonderful this plant is performing. So I'm going to do it in the exact same order that I did 11 weeks ago, and I'm going to also link up top the video, and I'll put it also in the description of 11 weeks ago what this salvia looked like. So the first I'm going to start with is Salvia Amistad, and this is the purple salvia. It does need to be sheared back. I haven't done that yet. It's still blooming, but it does need to get its hair cut. And it is taller. Believe it or not, it is taller and has grown wonderfully. It's probably my favorite. These two are probably my favorite salvia. Its cousin is Salvia Amante, and that is this real pink color. I've got a bee buzzing me, so it's such a vibrant color pink too. So you can see it is not blooming as beautifully as it was 11 weeks ago, but that's because it needs to be deadheaded. Some of my salvia I have already deadheaded, others I haven't, and these two I haven't. All right, on to the next one. This one is Salvia leucantha, or the Mexican bush sage, and it has completely gone through its first flush of blooms. This is the one that has the purple calyx and then white flowers and beautiful soft leaves. It has grown a lot after its first flush of blooms, and it will be ready to put on its next flush, hopefully soonish. This next salvia is called Rockin' Fuchsia from Proven Winners, and as you can see, it has a beautiful fuchsia colored flower in kind of a mauvey purple calyx. And Rockin' Fuchsia is doing very well. It has been cut back, and it is just starting to get its second bloom. So this one has been deadheaded. I have a couple of spots where I have mystic spires salvia. This is one, and this is the other. I have deadheaded both mystic spires once, and both of them are on their second bloom. And I think the beautiful thing for those of you that absolutely love mystic spires is their bloom stalks are so nice and long. They bloom a nice long time, and as you can see, the pollinators love it. Pollinators love all fuchsia. Excuse me, not fuchsia, all salvia. I do too. All right, on to the next. Sorry about that. I got these a little bit out of order. After the Rockin' Fuchsia, I should have done this one. This one is my bush salvia, and this is a type, a hybrid of Salvia greggii, and it is called maraschino salvia. And the color of the flower is pretty close to red. Oh, it's not gonna focus in on that. It's too early out. I guess I don't have enough lighting. But this bush salvia has really spread out. It grows quite large, and I have not deadheaded this. It does need a haircut because it is now in its sparsely blooming phase. So he will be getting a haircut shortly. And here is Misty. Misty has had one complete deadheading, and it's due for another. Misty is a short version of Mystic Spires, and it does have those nice, beautiful, long, bluish, purplish bloom stalks. Tucked in the back of my shade garden is Salvia madrensis, also known as Forsythia sage. I've come around to the back because this sage is different, or this salvia is different from most salvias. It is behaving a little bit differently because of our winter that we had, but it has got its bloom stalks already. And last year, this did not bloom for us until October. This does get some beautiful bright morning sun, but it is in the shade in the very hot afternoon. So it is loving its life. And if you remember, I had mentioned that I lost my salvia that was right here, and it has been very difficult to get the replacement, but I was able to get just this past week, and I just planted it in the ground. A couple of new plants of this beautiful Salvia madrensis. Back in my south bed, I have my Salvia nemorosa called April Night, and this salvia is a prolific bloomer. I deadhead this constantly, and it has new blooms for me. It pushes up new blooms all the time. I used to have two, but the last winter, one of them didn't survive. Need to look at getting probably another couple of these because I really like this salvia. I like because it not necessarily for the beauty of it, but how it attracts the pollinators. I mentioned in my last video how Salvia farinacea is my least favorite salvia, but oh my gosh, this is a native and it is a bloomer. This thing has gone nuts. So I have to appreciate it for how neglected it's been and how wonderfully it does. Since my last video, I've gotten two more different types of salvia, and this one is called Hummingbird Falls. It is a Salvia Guaranitica. It doesn't really like its life at the moment. I haven't figured out necessarily what the issue is. I have two of them in hanging baskets, and that's what Hummingbird Falls is known for. is being a trailing or a spilling salvia. And this one had mealyworms on it. And at first I thought it was not getting enough water. Both of them are in full sun. And I've tested the soil and it has been slightly dry. I need to figure out what is wrong. It just doesn't look as nice as it did when I got it. Because I would love a trailing salvia. And the last salvia I want to show you today is also new. And this is a Salvia greggii that I have in a planter with other flowers. And it is called, I'm going to show you its tag. It is called Mirage Violet Autumn Sage. And it has these purple, beautiful purple flowers. So I have it in this pot. It might seem different to have a more drought tolerant plant in with a more water hungry type plant that you see in the Super Bina. But in its first year of life and to get established, it does need water, regular water. And so it is loving its life in this planter. It has been blooming very heavily for me. I probably am going to have to give it a trim here because it's just started to wind down on its blooming cycle. So I'm back where I started with my Salvia Amistad. And I'm curious, I had asked 11 weeks ago, what was your go-to plant? Mine was salvia. If I could only have one plant, what would it be? And at that time I had 10 salvias, different types of salvia. Now I have 12, and that has not changed for me. It is a wonderful performer in the pollinator garden. Hummingbirds, butterflies, bees, wasps, insects, you name it. They are around in or near this salvia. So what would your plant be? What is your go-to plant in the garden? I hope this video has helped and it's shown how wonderful salvia has held up through these 11 weeks, from the beautiful spring that we had to now our heat and hot and oppressive summer. It's held up beautifully. I hope it continues to hold up beautifully. All of these salvias are in full sun except the one, Salvia madrensis, that's in my shade bed that gets partial sun. Very good. Well, thank you for joining me. If you're in this heat, please stay safe. The heat and humidity has been very difficult under this excessive heat warning. But our plants have held up beautifully. All right. I hope you all have a wonderful day.